Prince Harry apologized for wearing a Dodgers hat instead of a Blue Jays hat to a World Series game. Has one of your clothing choices ever caused a stir?
I'm Tony Kornheiser. I don't know about a stir, but that lambskin mankini definitely caused a rash.
Ew.
Caused a rash.
You know what we call Prince Harry at my house?
No.
Purple in love.
Oh, well, did she go to Northwestern?
I'm sorry?
Megan went to Northwestern. I didn't know that.
Get out.
She went to Northwestern?
Yes.
I had no idea.
Undergrad.
I had no idea.
Yes.
I had no idea.
Absolutely.
Wow. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, the NFC West faces itself. Drake May takes on Baker Mayfield and a college game tomorrow with potential playoff implications. But we begin today with last night's 10-7 Denver win over Las Vegas, a game where you could probably hear snoring in the stands. The Broncos' game-winning field goal came as the result of a blocked punt late in the third quarter. This was Denver's 7th win in a row, and their 8-2 record is the best in the NFL. Wilbon, does this win make you think more or less of Denver?
Tony, that's a totally worthy question, and my answer is not going to fit because it doesn't make me have any opinion of Denver. Not that game. Maybe the whole body of work, and they keep coming from behind in the fourth quarter, and they lose. They're losing at some point in every game.
Yes.
But that game last night, that was dreck.
Yeah.
That was awful. That is why you can look at the Thursday night product and say your Thursday night product, NFL, is junk. Because the teams either don't appear ready to play, don't appear just capable of doing what it is their coaches are asking. Because I feel that the Broncos are better than that. And so I want to judge them not on what I saw last night, but on the rest of the season. And based on that, I'm still fairly impressed with the Broncos.
I will say this, that the concept of a Thursday night game has some inherent problems because you have played on Sunday and you don't get much time to do it. But I have been, I would say in the defense of the schedule, they're at least putting division games out there, which have inherent meaning. So this is what I'm going to say.
And this had one.
If you are winning a division game, I don't care how you win it or by how many, it is, in my mind, a good win because it's a division
We'll agree
game.
on that.
So this, I'm not going to sit here and denigrate that win because it was a division win. Even though Denver showed no offense whatsoever. On the other hand, the Raiders are 15th in the league in terms of allowing yards, right in the middle, so that's pretty good. Denver showed a very good defense. Denver sacked Geno Smith.
Their pass rush is historically good.
They sacked Geno Smith 6 times. They hurried him about 200 times. I'm reluctant to sit here and say Denver's done. It doesn't make any sense to me. Because I think this is the way they win games. As you're saying, they win close, they win late, and they only score the 17th most points in the entire league, so they're not a big offensive team, and this is pretty much how they do it. Let me go to my notes here because I wrote some stuff down. A win like this causes a certain amount of reservation because, yes, they are 8-2, but this is not a wow win.
They don't have any wow wins.
This is not a win where you say, oh, that's a championship.
They won at Philly. No. They got one wow win
so
this season.
So they're like marching in place. It's not artistic. It's not a statement win. But what does Herm say? Hello, we play to win the game.
But there's another wow win they need to have.
Well, the Kansas City win.
Yeah.
This coming week.
How about that?
I'm sure you'll join me in holding off.
Holding reservation. That's what I said. Last night is not going to inform our judgment.
But if they beat Kansas City,
then that's
a different deal. That's a
division changer.
Yes.
Literally.
Yeah.
All right, then let's move from the AFC West to the NFC West. The 3-5 Cardinals take on the 6-2 Seahawks Sunday afternoon, while the 6-2 Rams face the 6-3 Niners. Tom, which of these 4 teams do you favor to win this division? I know we'll get one eliminated right off the top.
Okay. So I think the hot and trendy pick is Seattle, and I understand it. Because Sam Darnold has started out this year in Seattle the way he started out last year in Minnesota.
Yep.
He is an MVP candidate.
He is.
I believe that Seattle will have little trouble beating Arizona. Arizona is in disarray at quarterback unless Jacoby Brissett is absolutely the answer.
Be careful.
But it is very hard for me not to like the Rams. Because every time I see the Rams, I think they're pretty good. They had a loss to Philadelphia. They could have won that game. They're trying a game-winning field goal. It gets blocked and returned for a touchdown. How often does that? It never happens. They lose to San Francisco 26-23 in overtime. So both those games are games that were winnable for them, and they could be conceivably undefeated. For me, the trump card is Matthew Stafford. He is the only quarterback in this division who's ever actually won a Super Bowl. And I understand that Darnold is more highly rated right now, and I get that. But the numbers on Stafford, I believe, are 21 touchdowns and 2 picks.
Stafford's having a great season.
I'm going to go with that.
Whatever,
I'm
all that
Rams.
back trouble that was going to keep him from being any good the first few weeks of the season. I mean, that's a long time ago. By the way, neither one of us is going to pick the Cardinals.
Right.
But the Cardinals should be 6-2. The Cardinals had double-digit leads. They frittered away in 3 different games.
You care about them because they're
outplaying
Arizona and you're out there.
It's not about care about them. I watch them, and I know they're better than that record indicates. So they could beat Seattle. I favor Seattle to win the division. And by the way, San Francisco's got a fascinating game coming up because they do play the Rams. They've already won one of those.
That's right.
But the loss of Warner, the loss for Warner to that team is something that you cannot overcome.
They go through the season, everybody's hurt all the time.
But they also still managed to wind up standing often late in the season.
Because they got a really good coach.
Yes, they do.
As do the Rams, and apparently do the Seahawks.
Does Seattle.
That's right.
I'm going to go with Seattle. I'm going to stay with the hot hand with Darnold.
Right.
With the acquisition of a wide receiver, which makes that offense even more potent.
That's right.
So I'm going to go with Seattle in this with a narrow win over Phoenix. Narrow win. But those 3 teams, that division is fascinating.
Yeah, it's a very good division. I do like San Francisco, except they always get hurt. But you look at what Kyle Shanahan does. Mac Jones is on the exact same level as Brock Purdy at the moment.
It seems.
Because
hard
he
to
can
separate
do that.
them.
Obviously, Sean McVay can do that. Both of these guys have been, I think, to 2 Super Bowls at these particular stops. And Sean McVay won one with Stafford. Yes, it's a very competitive, very good division. I think you overrate the Cardinals a little bit, but I think you pay attention because you watch them.
The Cardinals are going to, at best, be like 7-11. That's not that. My point is, they're a tough out, right? And Seattle's not going to romp on Sunday.
Actually, I think Seattle might romp this week, I think. Let's move to college football and the biggest game on the board this week. Undefeated and 7th ranked by the committee, BYU, at 1-beaten and 8th ranked Texas Tech. Wilbon, you've been geeked about this game for weeks.
Oh, this week.
These are the 2 highest-rated teams in the Big 12, so does it feel like a playoff berth could be at stake in this one?
Yes. I do feel that way, Tony, because I think the committee is going to hose the loser. And I just think the committee will have no respect for the loser because it's not in the Big 10 or the SEC. That's how the committee rolls. I'm not jumping up and down screaming about it, but that's how it rolls. Because those two teams are not poor sisters, to use an old term. They got money. They have resources, those 2 schools. Their football programs are well funded, but they are not big brands. And it seems to me the committee is swayed by brands, SEC, Big 10, and the biggest brands within those individual brands. So the loser of this game...
Well, I wouldn't put Indiana in that category in football.
Well, but you know what? Indiana's had a year.
Football. Yeah, I'm just saying.
And Indiana's gaining.
I'm saying it's a generalization that may not work all the way down the line.
Okay, but you know why it does work now? Because Indiana's been a big brand in all kinds of sports for decades.
Yeah, but not in football.
No, but Indiana last year got into this tournament, all right? And so when you see them again, it's like a kid who comes back for a sniff at the Heisman. The second year, you got a better chance at this thing. And so Indiana's a much bigger brand than the 2 schools we're talking about right now, Texas Tech and BYU.
I will say this, that I think if BYU beats Texas Tech, it's over for Texas Tech in terms of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because they become a 2-loss team in what we both think might be a 1-bid conference, right? I mean, if you look, the committee doesn't value the Big 12. It values it more than the ACC, but they value my dog more than the ACC. The other 2 contenders are Cincinnati, which the committee doesn't even rank in the top 25, and 2-loss Utah. I think the 2 losses are to these 2. So they're not going to get it.
No.
Head-to-head,
you're saying what I'm saying in a different way. No, that the committee's going to look at the loser of this game and say, take a hike.
No. I think if BYU wins, they are in the playoffs.
Okay.
I think if Texas Tech wins, then I think all bets are off. And I think that the Big 12 could sneak in 2. Last year, the ACC, with Clemson and SMU, they snuck in 2.
The ACC.
I'm just saying.
As long as it's the right schools in the ACC.
I think the ACC is behind the Big 12. It's behind everybody else right now. Here's how I think it's going to work out. I think it's a reasonable way of looking at it. That the Big 12 gets one, that the ACC gets one, that the Gang of Five, or whatever they call that, gets one, and Notre Dame. Notre Dame is going to be in. That leaves 8 teams.
Because they're going to run the table.
Well, they certainly could.
Yeah.
That leaves 8 teams among the 2 behemoths,
that's what's
the Big Ten and the SEC. And I will say this, if that's what they do, I'm okay with that because I want to see them.
We started this with a question. This is a play-in game, isn't it?
Well, sir, yes, I believe it is.
Yeah.
I believe it is. But I believe that Texas Tech, I don't think BYU has to win, and I think Texas Tech has to win. I think so. Let's take a break.
Worth watching.
Coming up, Drake May takes on Baker Mayfield on Time for toss-up. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves, finishes the show, then celebrates upstairs by eating candy that's still in his office from before the pandemic.
Candy corn?
And it's good. What's first?
Toss-up, they play on Sunday. Which quarterback would you rather have? Drake May or Baker Mayfield?
Okay, I know how good a year Drake May is having. He is now in the top 5 in the league in completion percentage, yards per attempt, and touchdowns, top 5. He's the 4th quarterback all time to go through the first 9 games of a season and be 70% or higher in completion percentage and 9+ yards
getting the
per
ball
attempt.
down the field.
Let me tell you who
Accurate.
the other 3 quarterbacks are. Perhaps you've heard of them. Joe Montana, Tom Brady, and Aaron Rodgers. This is incredibly elite company.
Yeah, it is.
I am aware that the Patriots at the moment are 7-2, and at this very juncture of the season last year were 2-7. So if anybody thinks that Mike Vrabel doesn't know how to coach, they should stop watching now. They should stop. But with all that, I'm going to take Baker Mayfield. Because Baker Mayfield has been dealing without his best receivers all year long. He's basically
no Godwin, no Evans.
Working with nothing, and he's winning games. And he has become a really good quarterback.
I'm taking Baker Mayfield.
You are? Yeah. That surprises me.
One, Tampa.
You hated him for years.
I did. Tampa's coming off a bye week. They've had a week to sort of look at some things, figure out what they don't have, and figure out how to get around it. And we mentioned no Godwin, no Evans, no Bucky Irvin. And there's a lot of stuff missing. But you know who's not missing? Baker Mayfield, who just seems to have a sense of who on his team he can use in the absence of those stars. And by the way, Ibuka is out there and a reliable, not just reliable receiver, but a threat. And it just seems that Baker Mayfield is one of those guys who knows how to lead his team. He's great late in games.
Yeah.
All right?
Well, they win late.
They're at home.
Like Denver, they win late.
There's no reason to doubt Drake at this point, but I'm taking Bake.
Because what Baker Mayfield has become is a competent quarterback.
More than that.
He's
more than that.
He plays that. Other people have great games. He plays that position very well.
At the position.
Very good at the position. What's next?
Toss-up, more likely to keep it going after last week's surprising wins. The Vikings or the Steelers?
Okay, so let me set this up. Last week, the Vikings beat the Lions in Detroit. Now they are hosting the Baltimore Ravens.
Yep.
Last week, the Steelers beat the Colts. It's a pretty big win. This week, they are at the Chargers. Neither, to me, is likely to win, but I'm being asked who is more likely to win. I think Minnesota has the tougher draw because Lamar Jackson has said every game we play is a playoff game from now on. And as much as we may like J.J. McCarthy, this is his first year being a quarterback, and he's missed a bunch of games already. Aaron Rodgers has clothing that's older than J.J. McCarthy. I looked, and I told you this for weeks, I looked at the Steelers, and they didn't pass the eye test, but they did against the Colts. They turned the Colts over 6 times. They played really well against the Colts. And I have, and you have too, looked at the Chargers when they haven't passed the eye test. So I give the Steelers a better opportunity.
Slightly better, Tony. The thing is, the Steelers' pass defense is like 31st or 32nd in the league.
And the other kid can pass. Herbert can pass.
He's thrown a few too many picks. But he can throw it, and they can figure out what it is that Steelers' weak link is, obviously. And I would expect a coach Harbaugh, this particular Harbaugh, we got both Harbaughs involved in this equation. No, having said that, I'm still going to take the Steelers because I got to see J.J. McCarthy has had about 3 or 4 good quarters.
Quarters, not full games.
And in doing so, he has been impressive, and he did that in Detroit last week.
Yeah.
And he had those touchdown runs. I don't want to start taking shots at J.J. McCarthy, not until next week when he gets the Monsters in Minnesota. Then I'll take my shots. But I think the Steelers, neither one of them are going to win. Pittsburgh's not going to win. Right. Minnesota's not going to win. The Baltimore Ravens are in a playoff game, particularly vis-a-vis the Steelers.
You know who is going to win?
This is a division situation.
Who is going to win?
Who?
Detroit's going to win. Yeah. They play Washington. They're going to win. Because when they lose,
the other 4 o'clock game.
They come back and they score 100
They took Tom Brady off that game.
Yeah.
Brady, we're going to just run you right back out to California. Forget about Landover this week.
That's it. Victory is so sweet. Let's take one last break. Still to come, Florida's 7'9" redshirt freshman makes his debut.
And Northwestern tries to take out a ranked USC team tonight in Los Angeles. Will the Wildcats shock the world?
Why are you playing Friday night?
National TV.
Oh, is that how it works?
Huh? Come on now.
So do you get more playoff teams in?
Big Friday. Big Friday.
I thought that was just us.
Nah, it's everywhere.
Oh.
We spread it around. Chicago and Los Angeles.
Tonight on SportsCenter at 6 Eastern. Assessing the path for the Chiefs to fulfill their status as favorite to reach the Super Bowl. Plus, what the Ravens must accomplish to get their playoff hopes back.